All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we're going to be diving into the crypto gaming and honestly, just the crypto markets today in general, as we're seeing very good momentum. The printer is back on at this moment in time, and the markets are definitely reacting to that. We see Bitcoin up 33% over the last 7 days in reaction to this banking crisis, and people are understanding the power of decentralization. But most importantly, the coins that are rallying the most are crypto gaming tokens. We see 𝗩𝗓𝗋𝗋 up an unprecedented 77% for the 7 days. We have 𝗎𝗎𝗓, which we talk about all the time as well, up 45%, 𝗬𝗎𝗄𝗎 up 37%, 𝗎RAcity up 35%, and one that we'll talk about in this edition as well, Magic in the Arbitrum ecosystem up 33%. Now, there's a lot of reasons that tie into why these tokens are moving, but one of the biggest narratives right now that is about to unfold over the next few days in crypto is the Arbitrum airdrop. Now, I wanted to talk about the volatile movement behind 𝗩𝗓𝗋 as well, but we'll go ahead and dive into it. Like the video if you enjoy the show and if you enjoy the content here on In the Game and on Crypto Banter, as well as subscribe to the channel for shows every single day here on the channel, as well as shout out to our sponsors here on In the Game. Bybit, one of the leading crypto exchanges in the entire space for all of your trading needs. You can sign up for a Bybit in the link down below. NordVPN, always navigate securely across crypto. Never disclose your location, never disclose your IP address when you're using your wallets. Use a VPN, NordVPN down below. SIDUS HEROES, one of the leading AAA intergalactic gaming experiences in Web3 gaming. One of our newest sponsors as well, and we are excited to welcome on one of my favorite projects in the space and one of my favorite teams in the space. Shout out to Vulcan Forged, our newest sponsor here on In the Game. Vulcan Forged is a fully fledged gaming studio, I would just say gaming organization at this point with their blockchain, with the amount of games that are coming to the platform. It's really exciting, everything that Vulcan Forge has under the hood. And we'll talk about that more here at the end of today's show. But big shout out to Vulcan Forge, a new sponsor here on In the Game. And then last but not least, guys, if you're learning crypto for the first time, if you're new to DeFi, if you're new to these different sectors of crypto, hop down below in the link below, sign up for Crypto School. We're only onboarding a certain amount of people, I believe, to Crypto School. So if you're interested in learning more, hit the description down below for all of our sponsors and links for the In the Game show. Now let's dive right into it. So guys, we're seeing the markets moving very, very volatile. And as we're seeing, Vulcan Forge up, or not Vulcan Forge, 𝗩𝗓𝗋𝗋 up 77% for the week. And, this is a lot of reasons. Money is flowing into quality projects, but they are really hinting at something coming up around the corner. They're heading to GDC. They're going to be at the Game Developer Conference trying to pick up more games on the 𝗩𝗓𝗋 blockchain. So I think it's really exciting, everything that 𝗩𝗓𝗋 is doing. And I mean, 77% in a week is quite impressive, to say the least. But the main narrative unfolding right now in all of crypto, everyone's scrambling to see, did I qualify for the Arbitrum airdrop? So Arbitrum officially announced their airdrop yesterday, which is going to be on March 23rd. So it's 6 days from now, from this exact show. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity, not with Arbitrum, Arbitrum here. I think the ecosystem underneath Arbitrum is going to be where the most gains are, where the most volatile activity when it comes to percentage gains is. And I think if you pick and choose the right ecosystem projects, you could probably play this Arbitrum narrative and the Arbitrum airdrop very well. But why am I so bullish on Arbitrum gaming? So everyone's talking Polygon, everyone's talking IMX, Avalanche for the gaming blockchains, but Arbitrum is really creeping up into that landscape. So as we're seeing here, the sweet spot for L2s in the past before Arbitrum was really, DeFi, but now we're looking at GameFi. And when they launched Arbitrum Nova, that was their actual focus. And it's the largest L2 protocol that made headlines for its partnerships with Covalent and overtaking Ethereum in transactions. Other less publicized development have been the brewing game devs and GameFi projects on the protocol. Treasure DAO, which dominates the ecosystem, has grown from 2 to 6 games in just a year. And I believe that's now 26 games coming to the Treasure DAO platform. So GameFi is expanding rapidly. And as we see here, on-chain metrics as far as Arbitrum are really kicking up, with unique users, new users, and the new user percentage looking very strong for the Arbitrum chain. And as we're seeing here from Nansen, we're seeing the trading volume on Arbitrum. This is mainly in the gaming sector. Arbitrum's big focus on their NFT side is GameFi, is gamification of assets, is ownership of assets inside of video games, which we talk about here all the time on In the Game. And if you're watching the show, you definitely understand the power of NFTs inside of these gaming ecosystems. And this is just getting started, right? You know, the 20 games that are building within 𝗪𝗪𝗏's ecosystem, more and more games coming to the ecosystem of Arbitrum every single day. You know, there's a lot of, I would say, runway in the future for the Arbitrum chain and the Arbitrum gaming narrative to play out. So what are some of the projects that I think you need to A, be looking at, but also B, that haven't even launched yet? You know, this is the real time whenever you need to be looking, all right, what is building on Arbitrum? What is coming to Arbitrum? What can I get in front of? Because everyone's going to be so focused on the airdrop and everyone's going to be so focused on the top few projects. But if you can find those real hidden gems in the dirt right now, they're hidden gems underneath the surface at the moment in time, you're going to come out of this narrative up very, very nicely. So let's go ahead and talk about the projects I am eyeing within the Arbitrum ecosystem. One of those being Magic. We just talked about Magic 𝗪𝗪𝗏. They're the biggest GameFi protocol underneath the Arbitrum ecosystem, even though they're up about 30% this week with the market moves. About every single crypto gaming token that's good is up 30% this week or more. So I really think long-term at these valuations at $300 million market cap, and even at a $500 million fully diluted, I see Magic 𝗪𝗪𝗏 becoming a multi-billion-dollar market cap when the bull run officially does hit. And I think that it's going to be one of the biggest winners out of the Arbitrum ecosystem. Some games I would highly recommend to take a look at within the ecosystem that might have some activity coming towards their NFTs during this time period. Because think about the liquidity that's about to be injected onto the Arbitrum chain. So you need to be looking around. What's the quality projects? What's going to be taking that liquidity? Well, one of those will definitely be 𝗩𝗏𝗡. It would be, ridiculous not to say that, that one of the biggest, largest, most loyal communities on all of Arbitrum, 𝗩𝗏𝗡 here, tons of volume, tons of sentiment within their community. I think some NFT volume could definitely trickle here. I could see some volume heading towards the Beacon, which is an open world MMO fantasy action RPG. Tales of Valeria as well, which kind of, to me, graphically looks like Legends of Zelda. I think this is a really good up-and-coming game, and I've seen some people playing this, and it looks really, really engaging and really fun. I could totally see Tales of Valeria getting a little bit of volume, as well as Battlefly. So that's on the NFT side, right? The Arbitrum liquidity hitting the market. These are some projects that I totally see catching some of that liquidity, right? You get that big airdrop, you want to go acquire a couple of things. Those are the top projects within the ecosystem of Arbitrum and inside of Magic. Now, in RPV, I don't own any of those. I literally don't own any of those that I just mentioned. I'm literally just trying to get people in front of what's going to unfold. And that's the thing here. And I want to take a second to really reiterate this. Just because I talk about something does not mean I own it. Just because I talk about something does not mean I am shilling. Just because I'm talking about something does not mean that I need it to go up or down. So people need to get that out of their heads. I don't own any of the 4 projects that I just talked about. Literally, I don't own any 𝗩𝗏𝗡. I don't own Battlefly. I don't own the Beacon, and I don't own Tales of Valeria. So get that out of your head. I proudly, and I've disclosed many, many times that I, have invested in Magic 𝗪𝗪𝗏. So I will always tell you how it is, and I'll always tell you where I'm going to be looking. I do think truly these 4 projects could catch a ton of liquidity during this narrative, and I'm going to be eyeing those down. And then what are some projects that you can take a look at that have not even launched yet, right? 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏. So 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 is aiming to be the first gamified decentralized exchange on Arbitrum. So there's going to be GameFi narratives inside of this, but on top of that, think of it like the DeFi kingdoms almost of Arbitrum. I do think this is going to get a lot of attention from the yield farmers, from the DeFi guys, for the high APY chasers that has real yield involved in the platform. 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏 is one I would definitely keep your eye on. This has not launched yet. They do not have a token yet. So this is definitely one to take a look at. Another one around the corner, I believe, with an NFT launch in a couple of months is going to be 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. A lot of these ecosystem projects in Arbitrum, they are definitely, a lot of these arcade ecosystems are flocking to Arbitrum, and 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is like a boxing style arcade game. They're going to be building on Arbitrum as well. I would definitely be on the lookout for whatever's to come from 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 as well. But right now, 𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is probably, for me, the unreleased token in the ecosystem that I'm most looking forward to. Obviously, not excluding Arbitrum, because technically today Arbitrum hasn't launched yet. But those are the narratives I'm really looking at, right? I think Magic Treasure DAO is going to be a big long-term winner. I think if you look inside the games like Smolverse, like The Beacon, like Tales of Valeria, and like Battlefly, and then you take a look at the unreleased projects, you're getting in front of that alpha with 𝗪𝗏𝗃 and then 𝗪𝗏𝗋. I think you have a really good scope and a good lens on how to play this airdrop situation and where to look for the liquidity to flow. We see every time there's a big airdrop on Ethereum, all the liquidity runs to the NFT market. It happens every time. It pumps liquidity into the NFT market. This is going to be on the Arbitrum chain. All the Arbitrum degens are going to get that, and they're going to potentially want to go acquire a couple of their favorite projects. I could totally see that. Magic looks good. I completely agree. What happened to AI coins? AI coins were, and I mean, look, I believe Singularity Net's pumping today, 60% today. I mean, AI coins haven't gone away, guys, but right now, AI coins simply aren't. It's not the ChatGPT time again. Like GPT-4 just came out or whatever, but that ChatGPT hype, it's passed over a bit. Like the metaverse announcement with crypto gaming, it was about a 2 week to a month narrative that was really hot, and then it simmered down a bit, right? So I think it's kind of the same thing here. I think the AI narrative has cooled off a bit, but I do agree. I like Covalent, and I do like Singularity Net for the long term, CQT and AGIX. I think those are good projects long term. I think in the short term, obviously with Singularity Net pumping, that's going to, it's catching some action, but I think AI is going to be a longer term play. I think that's going to be a multi-year developing play within the crypto industry, especially because some of these projects don't even know what they're doing with AI, in my opinion, at this moment in time. And then let's talk about another few tokens that I am still looking out for during these times to potentially, if there's a dip, to add some more to my bags. I absolutely am bullish and very invested into Avalanche as well. Avalanche with their TSM partnership, with the Loco Legends partnership, they're out at GDC as well. They have Shrapnel coming to the platform. So many top tier games. The Avalanche subnets are one of the leaders in technology in all of Web3 gaming. And I think it's going to empower organizations to come into the space more than anything else, given they can run their own blockchain with the layer 1 technologies here. I think it's very bullish. Superverse, any news? No news. Imposters is pushing forward. Gigamart still operating the NFT marketplace. Elio's building, but nothing really noteworthy to speak of today. I have my eyes on Superverse, but it wasn't one that I had isolated for today's show. One thing I'm definitely looking at is Altura. Altura has to be my top low cap right now, given the fact that they partnered up with Unity. This is going to be one of the most explosive low caps when we get on the other side. And I mean, if the printer stays on and we see a little bit of a bullish injection into the market here, I think Altura could run like crazy as far as a low cap with so much utility, so much integration into Unity's SDK, Unity asset store for these devs to use. And it's only a $26 million market cap. So that would be my top low cap I am looking at this moment in time. And I'm also looking to get, it's been moving slow. The volatility on Vulcan Forge has slowed down, but I'm looking to potentially, if we see a dip, but the market injection might kind of prohibit that. I am looking at Vulcan Forge heavily, given the fact that their ecosystem is shaping up. Vulcan Forge, the Elysium chain, the studio, the Metascapes, the Metaverse as a service, and then they have all of their games. The recent AMA and update that Jamie Thompson did inside the server was very, very bullish in my opinion. And when you look at the development on the chain. So milestone hit, lossless DeFi has added support for the Elysium blockchain on their token minter. Anyone or projects will be able to deploy their token contracts on several chains, and that includes Elysium. So I'm really looking at Vulcan Forge to take it, like once the blockchain launches, I think that's going to be the big catalyst for Vulcan Forge moving forward. So let's go ahead and take a look. IMX crushes everything. They're crushing everything in the market right now. That's for sure. That is for sure. PYR versus IMX versus Arbitrum. If we had to go all in, I would never recommend that strategy ever. I think the most upside potential, given the current market caps, is probably, oh gosh, that's hard. I don't even want to answer that because I don't want you to go all in on a token. But I would probably say, if you want explosive gains, probably Magic, IMX, PYR in that order. Magic 𝗂𝗋𝗋𝗃𝗋. And that's in the gains you can catch. This is just off market caps here. That is not a project quality ranking. Always keep in mind, we're talking about explosive growth, and that's going to do with market cap. So I'm going to go Magic 𝗂𝗋𝗋𝗃𝗋. Phantom, I want to see more games on Phantom personally. I feel like Phantom's so DeFi focused and all the stuff that goes on their chain. I want to see more games. Gala, yeah, absolutely still bullish on Gala. I think that they're, continuing to grow their games, and they're moving towards mobile, which is going to capture a sub-segment of billions potential users to their games. Yeah, I'm bullish on Gala. I wish the tokenomics were a little better, but I am a holder, and I'm in for the long term. Render, yeah, very bullish on Render. I think that, whenever the metaverse plays out and Render's actual functionality is in full force, I think that Render is going to explode. Absolutely. Veracity, yeah, we called Veracity on the last show. It was funny. On Monday, we were basically telling you that you need to look right now for your favorite tokens before potential next leg up. And that's exactly what we're seeing today. So anyone who did potentially get a little hands on stuff like Vera earlier in the week, or if you bought IMX earlier in the week, I didn't say that, but good for you. You absolutely killing it today. And a lot of these crypto gaming coins are doing really, really well. MDT, I can't even say I know what MDT is. Or MEMAG. Some of these tokens are throwing at me, guys. What in the heck? HBAR, not me, not in my bags, not in my portfolio. I'm not looking at HBAR. It's just not in my scope. And I honestly will I'm honestly trying to stay within my niche. I have most success in my crypto time niching down, and I think that I'm going to continue to do so. So HBAR is not in my scope. UOS, I think UOS still has tons to go. It's just not getting as much volume. It's a lower cap gaming token. I believe it's up 10% this week. UOS is more of a long-term play, I think, than a short-term play. So if you have long-term conviction, yeah, UOS is super strong. Remark, very explosive as far as a low cap. And I think that if the Polkadot Kusama narrative does emerge again, you're going to see Remark probably being leveraged play on Polkadot and on Kusama. I think it's going to run way harder, and I think it could be the biggest gainer in the ecosystem when that narrative comes back around. Gala to $1 in 2025 possible? It's possible, but the token emissions, the supply, the circulating supply. Now, this is not FUD. This is realistic, guys. I always want you to understand what it means when I'm talking about tokenomics. Now, when I'm talking about tokenomics, you can see that the total supply of Gala, and I believe it's even more than this. I don't think this is completely accurate. Only 20% of the current tokens are circulating, guys. If you look at the circulating 7 billion tokens, and then you have 35 billion in the total supply, there's 80% of the tokens to be emitted to the market. I think you really need to keep your eye on that type of stuff. Gala is a very good project, and I absolutely love everything they're doing. But you have to keep an eye on tokenomics. And I think that there's a lot of risk there. And if it's not a bull run, those tokenomics could affect you. I just mentioned UOS. UOS is fantastic. Other side NFTs are cool. Yeah, I agree. If it has Doge in the name, I'm probably out. If it has Doge in the name, I'm probably out. I'm sorry. I would look at Altura, Crypto Craze. I would look at Altura. I would look at potentially Vulcan Forged. I would look at stuff like Ultra. I would look at stuff, in those like 10 to 20% ranges, not the 33% pumps of the week and the 77% pumps of IMX. I think you can find some value on some stuff that hasn't really ran as hard. Jacob, that's great, but that's not that's just not how I'm going to do things. I'm going to present people with things that I think are high quality. Nakamoto Games, yeah, fantastic project. EWT, Energy Web, I don't know anything about it, I'm going to be honest. Any projects from the Solana ecosystem? Honeyland. Honeyland just launched their token, and all their NFT collections have done really well. I've had Corey on in the past. I would potentially be looking at Honeyland as far as an individual game inside the ecosystem, but I think Solana probably has a lot of room to go too. I think the worst, like that beating we saw post FTX, I think that's probably the worst downtrend you're going to see for Solana in a short-term period of time. And I think in the future, it will recover. I like Solana. I like Honeyland underneath Solana. Pump the like. Yeah, pump the like button, guys. I'm going to get out of here. We're like 20 minutes in. It's a Friday. I'm on the move. As you can tell, I have a plain white background. This will not be the usual. I'm setting up the new studio here at the new place. So guys, like the video if you enjoyed the show. Subscribe down below for shows every single day here on Crypto Banter as well. And hit the links down below to check out all of our sponsors, NordVPN, SIDUS Heroes, Bybit, Crypto School, and our newest sponsor, Vulcan Forge. I have such high conviction in Vulcan Forge. So awesome that they came onto the show as a sponsor as well. I will see you guys on Monday, and we might have a podcast out this weekend, working on getting that footage sorted, but I might have a podcast out, very high value, this weekend as well. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back Monday with another live show. As always, play well, my friends.